What it is, what is up, welcome back to my channel. It's a wrap, aka Yudi here, and today we are sharing my TBR for the month of February, so let's get into it. First off, happy Black History Month. I usually don't do TBRs. I haven't done TBRs in a while because I've realized that I'm a mood reader. And since my last TBR, I've been like juggling multiple books at one time. So it was helpful when I first started to get back into reading to have a TBR, but now that I'm like back in the flow of reading, TBRs actually aren't that helpful for me. But for this month, for the month of February, I have a lot of books on my shelf from Black American authors that I just really want to read in this month. So because of that, I made a TBR. And also this will help me get through my physical TBR that's in the back of my shelf. So I have 6 books here, and I think I really tried to be thoughtful in highlighting fiction, nonfiction, Black classics versus, just good novels. The one thing I don't have like in my TBR, I don't think I have any romance. I think I might be romanced out, but we'll get to that when I do my wrap up. So yeah, I have 6 books. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. I don't think I'm going to get to all of them because some of them are a little bit on the chunkier side for me. Like once we get past 300 pages, especially if I don't know how like I'm going to get into it and they feel like they're like heavier literary fiction, for me to process is going to take like a little bit more than a week for me to read if I really want to process what I'm reading. The first book I have is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. This is my first, I'm going to put it in my face. This is my first novel by James McBride. I know, is it Deacon King Kong? I have not read that. There's a couple books by him that I haven't read. But yeah, this is my first time reading James McBride. I've heard like nothing but good things about the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, which is why I ended up buying it. And yeah, I just really want to get into it. So the book is based, I believe, in the 70s in Pennsylvania. And like they're doing construction in this house for this new housing development, and they discover under it a human skeleton, and then in that it like uncovers all the secrets and stories of this neighborhood. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this. The next book I have is one that I feel like everybody and their mama has read, and I've had this book forever. Not forever, just for like, a year. I bought it at the top of last year. And it's I had it longer than that because I had the ebook, but whatever. It's An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. Will it focus? Yes. Yes. And this one came out, I think in like 2018. It came out a minute ago. I feel like it came out when I was in college. Yeah, but this one, if I remember correctly, the character was in this relationship with a man who ended up going to jail, and then she moves on with her life, and then the man ends up coming out of jail, and then, they all have to tackle all of that. So yeah, if I remember this story correctly. And yeah, this is another book that I've heard nothing but good things, and hopefully this month I'll actually read it because it's been sitting on my shelf. Okay, this one I've actually started, but it's a compilation of like essays, and this is Pleasure Activism by Adrienne Marie Brown. So I've actually started this, and I'm in the middle of one essay, but I'm hoping to actually finish it this month. We'll see, because it's like an accumulation of like essays and interviews. It reads pretty fast. The next book I have is Sula by Toni Morrison, and this is another one. I have actually a whole bunch of Toni Morrison books. I just have not really. I think I've only read one. Is it Beloved? I've only read one story by Toni Morrison, and right now I can't remember what it is, but which is terrible. So, and I was in high school, so it didn't process. But yeah, I have Sula by Toni Morrison. This one, it follows two friends that kind of like go on a different path in life and then reconnect. And Sula is kind of like becomes the pariah. Is pariah the right word? But yeah, she just becomes like the ostracized woman in the town that they live in. Again, another book I've heard nothing but good things about. I've never heard anything bad about Toni Morrison, and a lot of people particularly like Sula, so I'm going to get into Sula. Okay, and then I have a mystery because I'm trying to be diverse. So we've gotten like some literary fiction, some nonfiction, some Black classics, and now I have a mystery. It is Dead Dead Girls by Nikesha Afia. Nikesha Afia? I love this cover. This is a Harlem Renaissance mystery. It's following a harrowing kidnapping ordeal when she was in her teens. Louise is doing everything she can to maintain a normal life. She's succeeding too. She spends her days working at the Maggie Cafe and her nights at the Zodiac, Harlem's hottest speakeasy. Louise's friend, especially her girlfriend, Rosa Marie Moreno, might say she's running from her past and the notoriety that still stalks her, but don't tell her that. When a girl turns up dead in the front of the cafe, Louise is forced to confront something she's been trying to ignore. 2 other local Black girls have been murdered in the past few weeks. After an altercation with a police officer gets her arrested, Louise is given an ultimatum. She can either help solve the case or wind up in a jail cell. Louise has no choice but to investigate and soon finds herself toe-to-toe with a murderous mastermind hell-bent on taking more lives, maybe even her own. So yeah, I've read 2 thrillers. I really read 3 thrillers, but I don't really consider Housewoman a thriller. So I'm excited to read this mystery, and hopefully I have a good time with it because I think out of the 3 that I've read, which one of them is going to be in my wrap up for January, I've only enjoyed one. So yeah, excited to read that. Okay, and then the last book on my TBR is Yellow Wife by Sadiqa Johnson. I read House of Eve, as you guys know, and that was like one of my favorite books that I read last year. Also, Sadiqa Johnson is having an event in, where I am, and she's doing it for House of Eve, which I've already read. But I really want to read Yellow Wife because I've heard nothing but good things about Yellow Wife, and I own it, so this will be a good month to try to read it. So I'll let y'all know how this one goes. This one is based in, is it Virginia? Yeah, Charles City, Virginia. And it's about a woman who, does she run away with her lover and then ends up being trapped in slavery again? No, she ends up being jailed. And she does what she can to survive. So I'm very interested in this one. So I'll let y'all know how that goes. So that's the 6 books that I have. The only one genre that I don't think I have, maybe I'll try to add like a young adult. This is not as diverse as it could be. I might have to switch out some books. I'll let y'all know. Y'all know in the wrap up what I actually end up reading. But these are the 6 books I have. Let me know what you guys plan to read for the month of February. I always love hearing you guys' recommendations because I actually pick them up and try to read them. So until the next time, guys, deuces.